Hola, buenos noches. Hola, everyone. Good morning. Is it still good morning? Yes, it is still morning. Okay. Well, I thought I would just come on and just share some highlights from our magnificent adventure in Punta Cana with you for anyone who is interested in listening. And if you're not, I don't blame you. That's fine too. But it was a fun little trip. And I just feel like I still want to say gracias all the time. Good morning, Steph. How are you, my friend? And also, gracias to all of our amazing Pomifera customers and my partners. Wow. We had an amazing sale yesterday for St. Patty's Day. We've never done a St. Patty's Day special, I don't think. And my team rocked it. Thank you. I know, thank you. Coming back to the cold. I know, it's nuts. It was so nice. I mean, we were literally in another part of the world. It was a little shocking coming back, you know, you hear about it being cold and boy, it was cold. It was cold coming back. But we're here, we made it. It was a wonderfully fantastic time, so fun. And I'll just share a few things from our little trippy trip for anyone who wants to tune in and listen. It's been so fun to go back and look at all the pictures that everybody is posting. So for any of you, yes, I mean, we had some like, what the heck minutes, especially when we first got there. But all in all, it was a good time. I'm going to share this in my group real quick. We'll see how that works. Sometimes I've shared it before in there and it doesn't go clear. But I am going to do that. And also just really quickly, like I said, we had it was crazy yesterday coming back, and then we had like this crazy sale. We sold out of our happy hour special with Pomifera, and they had to come up with a new deal for us to offer for St. Patty's Day. So that was like nutty, and I was like, okay, what is going on? I'm like, what are we doing? Oh my gosh, it was crazy. But many, many of you took advantage of it, and I'm very, very grateful for that. So thank you, whether you bought something from me or some of my partner friends. We truly, truly appreciate your support and your business. It's just fantastic. And let's get real. I honestly would not have been able to go on a trip like that without a little bit of cushion money to be able to do it with Pomifera. So if any of you are, you know, thinking, geez, I could never do a trip like that, or I would love to do a trip like that, or how can I do a trip like that? I mean, I had to pay for myself and Ellie. The plan was for Ellie to, you know, pay for herself. That's how she roped me into doing this. Because it was a senior spring break trip. But she's so busy that, I mean, she's a hard worker, but, you know, being in everything that she's in, and I wouldn't want to change that for the world. I mean, it is expensive to do all of it. The last couple of years, we allowed her to do competition dance, and that's just a whole nother level of whoops, hold on here, I'm trying to multitask. A whole nother level of expense. Let's see, we want to show. All right, done. I am going to post my link. If any of you missed the 99-cent shipping day yesterday. You can take advantage of that. I will cover you over this weekend through tomorrow, just because I had a late start in getting the information out, and I'm trying to get my link to show so you guys can see that, and they can't figure it out. Okay, yes, we want it to show. Tap the show button to feature this link during your live video. So I'm going to click on show. So if any of you want to take advantage of that, I will cover or I will allow the 99-cent shipping on my dime. I'll just Venmo you. I have PayPal. We can figure it out, whatever. And you can take advantage of 99 shipping through tomorrow night. I'll allow that because it took me a minute to get the announcement out because I was like running on my heels or whatever however the saying goes. And I was like, I just need to tell my people we've got a special going on. Oh my gosh. So anyways, if any of you are, thinking, geez, how awesome it would be to be able to take my daughter on a senior trip. Let's just chat because I seriously would not have been able to do that without some extra income on the side from Pomifera. I mean, we do fine financially, but I mean, there's always something that comes up. There's always extra expenses. And Pomifera literally has just made our cash flow a little bit more liquid. And I mean, Ron owns his own business, yes, and it's been a blessing. And we have great things, we have nice things, but it's not anything extravagant, like I don't have extra money to get my nails done. You know what I mean? It's like, you only have so much money at the end of the day, right? And Pomifera has literally just given us that extra cushion to, the trip was like maybe $1,250 a piece. And then there's all those little extras along the way, buying new swimming suits. I paid for getting our seats assigned, which I didn't realize that we didn't really need to do that, but I wanted us to be all together for sure, just because we were, flying out of the country. I don't know. I didn't realize that you didn't have to pay for that, but, and the baggage to and from, checking in. It's just a lot, right? All these little extras. And so for us to have this extra $2,400 for me and Ellie, it was a lot. I mean, we did book it in June. Oh, and then plus there was insurance, like, I don't know, $200 a piece a person. So I covered that for all of my girls. All three of my girls and myself, we all went. So my older two girls, which is Kaylee and Taylor, and then myself, we were all able to go. The girls paid for themselves. But again, I mean, just having a little extra cushion money to be able to do something like that has been amazing. And so I would invite you, if you want something for yourself or just a little extra cash, to be able to do some fun things in your life, because life does get boring, right? And unless you have, money isn't everything. We already know this. And yes, we can cut back on certain things to have a little bit more, but it's also nice to just be able to, number one, help others. It's nice to be able to just enjoy things in life a little bit more. And in order to do that, you have to have a little bit of extra play money. And Pomifera has done exactly that for me in allowing us to have a little bit more play money. I've actually been able to go on a few trips now with my girls. Anyways, good morning. Thank you. It is a cold tundra. My gosh. but it feels good, kind of. So I would invite you to join us on this Pomifera journey. We're still a really new company, you guys, and we've got skincare, body care, hair care. We're integrating. Good morning, hello, Tiffany. Hair care, body care, some home items, and it's just gonna continue. And now that we've partnered with Shackley, we just have that much more to offer. We will be getting makeup at some point. I mean, they're looking at that. They're thinking about that now that we've got the financial backing with Shackley behind us. I mean, it's just going to be all good things. We're going to have our conference coming up in August. It's going to be our first conference combined with Shackley people. And I mean, this is definitely the year to join. So come along the ride. It's $99 to join Pomifera. You get a ton of products, full-size products. Well, and then some kind of sampler sizes too. But if you're interested in any of that, just give me a shout out and we will get you going. So I thought we would just do a quick little Punta Cana recap while I am just putting my skincare and my makeup on. And I just got, isn't this adorable? I guess I've had it for a minute, but I ordered it in December, but it took a long time to get here. We have a little gal who designs some Pomifera stuff for us. And I mean, it came, I don't know, maybe a few weeks ago, but it has been nutty at my house. And so I just opened up my box. And here it is. That's a little Pomifera hedge ball. So I got my little shaker cup, my little Pomifera shaker cup. And I have one to give away. So anyone that purchases some Shackley over the weekend, the first person that does, I am going to send you a little shaker. I absolutely love their Life Shake that we have available on my website. So the first person that purchases that, I am totally going to send a little shaker to you. We just dropped a new product yesterday in the chaos, and it is some kind of a green. I haven't even been able to check it out. I'm trying to pull it up here to see if I can find maybe some pictures of it and tell you what it is here real quick. Where is it? Where is it? It is called an organic greens booster. That is so up my alley. Let me see if I can get it. Organic Greens Booster is a whole food supplement providing 1 cup of raw, organic, nutrient-rich green vegetables, kale, spinach, broccoli sprout in every scoop. So I will be totally getting that, and then I will share with you my thoughts on what I think. All right, so again, gracias. We went to the mall yesterday, and because we had to fix my girl's phone, it's broke, so we had to go to the Apple store, and we also went to Panera to eat, and Panera never sounded so good in my whole entire life. And I ate too much, but I just constantly found myself saying gracias to everyone. So it was a lot of Spanish speaking down there in Punta Cana. So just a super quick recap while I'm getting ready here, but let's see, we left last Saturday. We drove up to Minneapolis to fly out, and we flew out that next morning, our flight left at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and they suggested that we be there 3 hours early. So literally from our hotel, the shuttles went every hour on the hour. So we were like, okay, we could get the 5 o'clock shuttle and be kind of rushed, or we could do the 4 o'clock shuttle and beat the crowds. And plus it was like spring forward, right? So we lost an hour. So we did it. We did the 4 o'clock shuttle. Literally, I'm still totally out of it, you guys. So we did the 4 a.m. shuttle over to the airport, and thinking that, you know, it was going to be like no people there, right? Oh my gosh, we got there, and I have never seen a line so long waiting to go through security. It was nuts. But you know, we got there and we kind of had to stand in line for a minute, but then they brought in the dogs, the sniffing dogs, and then we were just like, I would say we probably were standing in line to get through security, maybe 45 minutes. So, I mean, it did take some time, but we had plenty of time because we got there plenty early. So we weren't feeling super stressed about it. And my girls are just funny when we have to wait in line and be like bored. We're kind of loud and obnoxious when we're all together. Hey, Becky. And Becky, I have your package. It came while I was gone. I was gonna text you today, but I will get that over to you. I'll just drop it off. So anyway, so the flight was all pretty smooth. Getting to Punta Cana. Punta Cana Airport is pretty small, and honestly it was a lot less intimidating, and it was pretty clean in comparison to the Cancun airport. The Cancun airport felt like a real foreign place, and Punta Cana was like, it was so cute. It had like the little, you know, straw huts and everything. It was so fun. Okay, and I'll send you a message and let you know exactly what the total is. So, so anyways, and of course it was nice and hot and beautiful. And then we shuttled over to the hotel. And by the time we got there, it was getting kind of, I mean, it was, I guess, kind of a decent time frame in the evening, but we were spent. We were tired, we were fried, and just, you know, emotionally and mentally just kind of drained. And so we spent the first night kind of in the lobby. They ended up having like a live singer, and we really hadn't explored a lot on the resort, and everything kind of felt overwhelming. So we just kind of hung out and chilled out in the lobby. There, like I said, there was a live singer, and it was just the girls arriving that first night. But we kind of were all a hot mess, honestly. And there definitely was a little bit of a language barrier. And of course, I'm deaf in one of my ears anyway, so it was super hard for me to kind of like hear in this loud area with lots of chatter going on and trying to understand what people were saying. And so for me, it was difficult. But Taylor is like she's my third child, and she is like a leader, right? So she pretty much just took charge of everything. And that first night, we didn't really understand the water situation either. Obviously, we were told not to drink the water, right? And so we were all dying of thirst, of course, from traveling, and hungry. And even though there were tons of places to eat on the resort area, because there were 3 different resorts combined, we had access to all of them. But it was so overwhelming. Like, we got in and we were hungry. We're like, where are we eating? and to make reservations at one of the restaurants. They were all booked up already, so that was super frustrating. We're like, oh my gosh, where are we gonna get food? The buffet at the resort had already shut down for the day. And then it was the whole water situation. We were like, where's the water? We need some water. We could only get like 2 bottles of water at the front desk at a time, and it wasn't cold. And it was just like, oh my gosh, is this what is going down right now? We were kind of dying. But it was all good. Taylor ordered us a ton of room service, and we got back to the room and we like totally feasted on that, and we were fine. But some people ordered room service and they didn't get it. So it was just kind of a fiasco that first night for sure. And then the next day we were kind of like just, exploring a little bit and kind of getting comfortable. We figured out that you could get good, clean water at the bar and fill your cup up with ice. So that was all good. But the buffet situation, we thought that it was open until 5. And so by the time 3 o'clock comes around, we've been sitting on the beach and at the pool, and we're all hungry. And then we go over to the buffet and it shuts down at like 3 o'clock. So then again, we were like scrambling for food. There was a little taco truck on the pool grounds. And so we did end up getting a taco, and I was just like, I don't know. I kind of have a sensitive stomach, so I'm like, I'm kind of just going to stay away from the meat, okay? But I did do the taco, and the flavor was good, and it was beef. But there were some grizzly pieces in that I just didn't kind of recognize. And so for me, it was out, but it's all fine. Where did we end up eating that night? We ate at a Dominican buffet. And so it was buffet style. There were lots of different choices, and I just kept it simple and stuck with the greens and the veggies and bread. They had amazing, Taylor, there's my TT. And then they did have some amazing flatbread there. It was there was pizza every night, everywhere, choices. But I just kind of kept it simple and stuck to the greens. But anyway, so that Monday night, all the boys came in, because again, this was a senior trip for girls and boys. And once the boys got there, then we were all chopped liver. But we did have Ellie eat with us Monday night, so we got her for that. And and then after dinner, it was pretty much just kind of like paying attention to what the kids were doing, just to make sure that they were, staying safe. And it was just, it's kind of fun to watch them just all hang out. And I had envisioned the worst with guys and girls, but they literally were good kids. They were really good kids. And on this resort, there wasn't just like a ton of young kids partying for spring break. So that was nice. It was definitely, there were definitely some other, kids the same age there, but it wasn't like the disaster that I was envisioning. Like, I was really envisioning it to be just a real wild party. But thank goodness that it really wasn't the whole entire time. Honestly, they did pretty much the same things every single night. The guys liked hanging out in the casino, and then there was a pool at night that was open, but it took us a minute to figure that out. We had to go exploring. Let's see. And then the second day, we tried to do an excursion, and that was like a disaster. Because you had to get on a small boat to get on a big boat, and that was not happening. The water was super rough that day, and it was difficult to get onto the big boat. And by the time we had, number one, we were headed out into the water, and the motor died. Thank God they don't act like Gen X when we were that age. Well, they definitely had their fill and their fun time, let me tell you. But I mean, all in all, I mean, it was late with them. Um, but for the most part, I mean, it was very contained, and the kids were, they were good. We were really, really worried about that with some of the boys, but honestly, their crew that they hang out with is pretty, they're pretty good kids. So, whew, thank goodness for that. But for the excursion, it's we got on this, it was kind of like a fisherman's boat, right? Kind of a smaller boat. And there were several of us that jumped on. Um, and I'm sitting there thinking, why in the world did I bring my phone with me? Because like, if we tipped over, everything would be done. And everybody brought their phones. But honestly, it wasn't really like an excursion to do that, but we saw other people doing it, so I don't know. Anyway, as soon as we get on the smaller boat, the engine dies, or the motor dies, and it was like flooded maybe or something, I don't know, but that just kind of was alarming. I was not comfortable with the life jackets that they gave us. They were like old-fashioned style life jackets, and they didn't even clasp. So in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, if anything happens, like these life jackets are not going to help us. Even though we weren't even going very far out, you probably could touch, I don't know. But anyways, after about 4 times wrapping around the big boat, trying to get around it to get to a good place where we could meet and then get off of the small boat onto the big boat, we had all just kind of like had it. We were like, okay. Ellie was starting to get a little emotional. Taylor was like, can you just tell her to calm down? You know, and I'm like, no, I think we're done. And then once that happened, whew, I unleashed the dragon, and Taylor was like, it was over. It was done. They were getting us off of that boat. So after some hooting and some hollering and some screaming and flagging down another small boat, this other boat came over and got us off. That was very traumatic. But we got back to shore and got our money back. So that was a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie. And then it all took us a minute to kind of digress from that. It was quite the adventure. So anyway, and then we just kind of hung out at the pool after that night. And then where did we go to dinner that night? Oh, that night we went to the Mexican restaurant. So interesting because like Taylor was super excited to see grapes at that restaurant and guacamole. You'd think that like guacamole would have been abundant everywhere, but that was the only place that had guacamole that we could see. Do you love my mug? It is like, I don't even know where I got this, but yeah, it's a great size. Oh, and I'm drinking my Dominican spice coffee. I guess it's Caribbean spice, Caribbean artisan coffee. And it's pretty good. This is supposed to be authentic Caribbean produce. I thought I had to get coffee from there, right? So dinner was Mexican. Again, I was playing it safe, maybe a little too safe. They did have like a little salad bar for, you know, or like your first things that you were eating. So I got a little salad bar and, but the guacamole was awesome. And the pico was nice and fresh. And Kaylee got some kind of beef stuffed sandwich. Bill got fajitas. Sherry got some kind of a pork meal, and it was really good. I took a bite of that. It was really good, but I was still just like, I didn't want to have any stomach issues while I was on vacation. And then what did Taylor get? I want to say she might have gotten some chicken. Taylor, are you still on here? You can tell me what you got. And I just got a vegetarian enchilada. And it was basically like different peppers and onions wrapped in a corn tortilla, which was fine, but it wasn't like that delicious or anything. Yeah, I mean, it was clear that the beef and the chicken was, I mean, where are they farming these animals? There was like no farmland anywhere, right? So I don't know. I was just like, I don't know, guys. I just can't do that. So that was my issue, but it was fine. It all worked out fine. Let's see. And then, so day 3 came. We spent some part of the day. We wanted a little change of scenery from the pool and everything. And again, you know, Ellie is totally hanging out with her friends. We're never seeing her, pretty much. We got to see her like maybe once or twice in the morning to take pictures of her and her boyfriend, not with her and us, but her and her boyfriend. So if I would have done it differently, I would have like, okay, we need a picture of you like every day, but it's fine. So we had a little change of scenery where we were all kind of just feeling like we finally were unwinding. I know for me, like it really takes a minute for me to kind of get my bearings on where I'm at when I'm traveling like that. I just don't travel very well. Even though it was really fun, it took me kind of a minute to just kind of settle in. Does that make sense, right? So by the time day 3 came around, you know, Wednesday, it was like the last day, the last full day. And then you're like, okay, we got to do this and this and this and this before we get on the plane, right? So then it's like, so day 2 was finally like you get your groundings. But day 3, we went to they had a really nice spa there. I didn't think that we were going to like spend any time in the spa because I was like, I'm not doing that. The grounds are beautiful. And they were. The whole resort grounds were absolutely amazing. The beach was amazing. Totally beautiful water like I've never seen before in my life. Even more beautiful than Cancun for sure. I mean, because on the beach of Cancun, it was pretty, but I mean, this was like massive. This beach that we were on here was public, and so you could really walk up and down the beach. I wish I would have taken maybe just a little bit more time to do that, but I don't know. When you're like in that moment, you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of tired, and you just want to chill out. But anyway, so we went to the hydro pool area at the spa. And I wish that we would have done that maybe like earlier in the day because you really had access to it from morning until 8 o'clock at night. So you could just kind of hang out there. And so they had like a pool area and like a hot tub that was really big and relaxing, really enjoyable. You could sit in the sauna. They had an ice room and a steam room, which I did sit in the steam room. I thought that was pretty cool. And then they had like this little walkway that you could go back and put some little mud masks on your body and rinse them off. Which I mean, I forget which one I had. There were 3 different masks to choose from. And I did put it like on my back because my back sometimes gets like little bumps on it and stuff, but it really did. Sorry, I dropped my mascara. I have to pick it up. It really did kind of clear up my skin, so that was fun. And we just kind of chilled out there until dinner. And the kids had arranged like a fake wedding between a couple of them. So they were all getting dressed up and everything. And I was just like, I'm not going to be there. But I totally missed out on getting a good mom pic. Like all of the girl moms were there dressed up cute. And I totally missed out on that. So I regret not doing that, but it's fine. It's all fine. We had a lovely time there. And again, I would say that, I mean, the resort, it was just kind of funky. It was like, I'm like, is this a really nice place or is it not? Because the language barrier was off a little bit. There was a lot of haggling on the beach, which was really annoying. It really got old. And like, even after we bought some things, they didn't remember that we had bought some things. So they kept on coming back like 5 times in one day. It was just, that really got old. And even by sitting by the pool, every time you would enter and leave the pool area, they were asking if you would buy some jewelry. And so that part got old, and our room didn't have, was never like nice and crisp cool. So after a long day of being in the hot sun, you kind of wanted to come back to your room and just be able to chill and relax, right? The beds were not that comfortable, and it was really kind of moldy smelling because it's so humid there, you know, they can't really, and I thought, well, maybe it's just because it's just so hard, but I think it's just because it's an older resort. So, I mean, there's pluses and minuses. I mean, it was super fun to take the train around the whole entire resort and just check everything out. But there were still a lot of things between the 3 resorts that we did not get to see. We did finally, that last night, after we had dinner at the Italian restaurant, thanks to Taylor for getting us a reservation there. Because again, like, it was really hard to get into some of those restaurants for dinners. Like on that first night that we got there, like some people couldn't even make reservations when they got there. And I thought, well, that's really not cool. But I'm just grateful that we did get in there to the Italian restaurant. We had a really nice meal. It was very relaxing. We got to sit outside and see the ocean view, which was really, really awesome, with all the girls. Ellie ate with us because she wanted real food for one night. And we were like never so excited to see Caesar salad and real Parmesan cheese, like on a block of Parmesan cheese, and you could just scrape it off. It was so good, especially after just kind of eating hit or miss for the last few days. So that was fantastic. And then of course that night, like, you know, we just kind of drove around in this, they had like these little train trolleys that would go all the way around the resort. We did that for a couple of laps, and then we picked up a couple of other parents, and then we were just kind of chilling and just being present just for the kids to make sure that they were all, you know, somewhat staying together and contained and safe. And so that's how we spent like our evenings from like 10 to midnight. And then of course that last night was a little bit later. I had to corral Ellie in. That was a whole dramatic scene. She was not ready to end the party, but I'm like, babe, it's 1 o'clock. It's going to be a super long day tomorrow, because once we got into Minneapolis, we were going to have to drive home. And I just kept on thinking, like, girl, do you not know how old I am? Like, I can't do this crap. I have to like get us home after we get to Minneapolis. So anyway, I guess, you know, looking back, it was really an amazing experience. If I went to Punta Cana again, I definitely probably wouldn't stay in the resort that we were in. But then again, it's like that was the cheapest one and you had access to the other places. So I don't know. But, you know, when you go to a foreign country, it's definitely like you're in a foreign country. And this resort was owned, it was Spanish owned. That's what somebody said. I would have to look that up to know for sure. But it's interesting because there were definitely different levels of service from the hotel area that we were staying in comparison to the other 2 options that were there. The other 2 options were definitely a little bit higher end, you know, so that's something to think about too. But I would say that the grounds were amazing. It was so fun to just trolley through all of these palm trees and these little hut trails, and yeah, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, all in all, it all turned out pretty good. So have any of you guys been to Punta Cana? If you have, you'll have to let me know, and let me know where you stayed. I know my brother and sister-in-law were there not so long ago, and they had a blast. I would say that there were lots of things to do, which was good. Like the staff, they had something going on frequently and throughout the day to kind of, keep it entertaining and fun. So that was nice. But I would say that the amount of time that we were there, so 5 days, 4 nights, was really just about perfect. It was really just about the right amount of time. What is your favorite amount of time when you go on a vacation? Is it like 5 nights, 6 nights? Do you like to stay longer? Do you like to do little shorter trips? What do you guys like to do? I honestly, we really haven't traveled a whole lot. So doing all of this, and especially like out of the country, this is the second time that I've ever been out of the country. So it was definitely a little adventurous for us, but I loved being able to have that time with my girls. I mean, that's like, I don't know that we'll ever be able to do that again, because the older ones are definitely getting older and they're going to be doing their own things. So it was an experience that we'll probably never be able to redo again. So it was all in all, it was good. All in all, it was good. So what else? Okay, and then of course we get to Minneapolis, and it's cold. It was freezing cold. And we also found out that on the airport, when we got to Punta Cana, you know how they always let like the front of the plane off versus the back? Well, the back end got to go off first, and apparently it was a weight issue. And on our way home to Minneapolis, they didn't unload us that way, but there was somebody else that was on the plane that had flown out a day earlier than us, and they literally said that the reason why they unloaded us back end first was because the day before the plane literally was tipping as they were letting some of these other people off in the front. So that's why they let the people in the back off. Have you guys ever heard of that before? So that was interesting. But anyways, all in all, it was a great trip. It was a fun time with my girls, spending it with them. I wish I would have been able to unwind and relax a little bit more, but I'm kind of uptight when I travel. But it's all good. It's all good. So anyways, you'll have to let me know if you've ever been to the Dominican and what your experience was. I'd love to hear it. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever go there again, but if we do, I'll know what to expect. And if we don't, I'll be okay with that too. I'm looking forward to maybe doing some other areas, other trips for sure. So, okay, you guys, I'm going to get on with my Saturday, as you guys probably are as well. And anyway, let me know if you have any questions in regards to me covering your shipping this weekend. I'd love to do that for you. I'll give you 99-cent shipping through Sunday. So thank you all so much. Appreciate your business. Appreciate you tuning in. And y'all have a fabulous Saturday. Feels good to be home, even if it's cold. Feels good to be home. All right, you guys. Love y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.